Hello, everyone. You are listening to Your Palm Beach Guide with the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. My name is Kiana Rivera, and I'm the Vice President of Program Development and Membership here at the Chamber. Today, I'm excited to welcome Dr. Brian Strow, the Dean of Marshall E. Rinker Sr. School of Business and Professor of Economics at Palm Beach Atlantic University. Dr. Strow has had an extraordinary career as an educator, researcher, advisor to policymakers, and a global traveler. And today, we'll talk about his journey, his vision for developing future business leaders, and the insights he's gained along the way. Dr. Stroud, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. That
Beautiful.
sounds like an exciting talk. I want to hear it.
You're like, here we go. We're going to jump right in. This is wonderful. Well, thank you for being here. I mean, I've been trying to get this on the books, so I'm glad we were able to make it happen. So we will jump right in. Brian, your career spans research, teaching, and advising policymakers at the highest level. What inspired your passion for economics and ultimately led you to pursue a leadership role at PBA?
Well, I grew up in a household where the heat got turned off in the winter, and this is outside of Chicago.
Oh, wow.
So I developed an acute interest in learning about money early on.
Yeah.
Like, how does one not have one, or how does one obtain some so the heat will stay on? So
Right.
it was a very practical concern at the start. But I quickly became interested in how economic policy impacts people's lives. So there's choices you and I make as individuals. There are some decisions made for us. And I quickly found out that economic policy made at the national level has a very profound impact on the day-to-day life of many people. Not in America, yes, but around the world. And so I started geeking out pretty early on, even in high school, pulling economics books off of the library shelves. Back when people went to libraries, I started watching C-SPAN and watching politicians talk about economic policy.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I actually listened. Most politicians didn't make any sense to me, quite honestly. And so there were a couple that did. And I thought, well, what do they know? Like, what's their background? And I went and looked them up. And
you did?
The two actually were PhD economists. And so that's what's inspired me to go get my PhD in economics. I thought I wanted to know what they know because their answers make sense to me.
What did you write your dissertation on?
The effects of emancipation on incarceration rates.
Wow.
In the United States. So it's like an economic history, criminology dissertation.
That's incredible. I only mention that because my mom is going through PhD right now, and she just wants to pull her hair out sometimes because it's
that's
so
why I don't
intense.
have any left.
I know.
It's been a long time. This isn't a recent phenomenon. It's a stressful process.
Yeah, she literally, and she's still working. I'm sure you did too. You worked as well during it. And I'm like, Mom, more power to you. You're amazing.
No, the best kind of dissertation is a done.
Yeah, right. Is a done dissertation.
Once you get it done, they can't take it back. And I don't want to go through it again, but I'm glad that I did it. Had some interesting findings, and away we go.
And here you are.
Mostly it opened the door for me in academia, and it's a great career choice.
Oh, that's wonderful. So before joining PBA, you were the BB&T professor for the study of capitalism at Western Kentucky University, which I want to know from Chicago to Kentucky, how that transition happened.
Well, I went to graduate school at Vanderbilt University.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I got my PhD. It's in Nashville.
Nice.
It's an hour south of where Western Kentucky is. And so the woman I was dating at the time, now my wife, is 2 years behind me in grad school. She was in the same program. She also has a PhD in economics. But I was interviewing in different states around the country, including, like Kansas, Wisconsin, and my wife's from Georgia. She made it clear that I could go take a job in Wisconsin. She, under no circumstance, will ever move to Wisconsin.
I won't be coming with you.
So when I found one an hour away from Nashville, that met her approval. And it was in my interest to keep dating her since obviously she's my better half. And so it all worked out. A job opened up for her as well. And we taught 21 years at Western Kentucky University before making the transition to South Florida.
South Florida. That's incredible. How did those experiences shape your leadership philosophy and how you're preparing students for today?
Yeah, there's a number of influences here. So looking within academia, you see some leadership examples. And then within the realm of politics, you see other leadership examples. I got to say, a lot of times it's what not to do.
Right.
You do have to pay attention to what not to do. There are a lot of mistakes within any bureaucracy, and it doesn't take long paying attention to politics to see that there are people who make serial mistakes over and over again that impact and hurt people. So it's kind of like the Hippocratic Oath. At first, do no harm.
Right.
At the basic level of leadership is you don't need to be in a position of leadership if you're going to harm people.
Right.
Now, that's a very low standard.
Yeah.
But at Palm Beach Atlantic University, we really do start with something basic like that. As the person, you are here to make the world a better
Right.
place.
Well, and I love that you say that. So I'm an alum, of course, and so
Mhm.
is Gabby. And I just think that with the leadership style that you guys have, as well as just all the teachers across the board, it's just you guys have focused specifically on that steward leadership. And
Absolutely.
at the center, it's Christ centered
It is.
always. And
Absolutely
that's
is.
where, you can immediately tell when someone has gone to PBA. There's a night and day difference, you know?
There is, and then we're proud of that
Yeah.
brand. I mean, it's again, we're going to start with producing and helping people be great people.
Right.
Now, we're a college of business. We're going to
Oh
help you on
yeah. Oh,
skills
of
of,
course. You got to
accounting,
know how to
finance.
work.
Yeah, we got to have a job.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves that when people hire our graduates,
Right.
they say, "Hey, these are different people. These are
Right.
good people. Hey, how do I get more of these people to come work for our organization? Because that's who you want to work with."
Exactly. Exactly. So, how are you preparing your students to navigate the rapidly changing business landscape here in Palm Beach?
That's a
Specifically.
great question because one of the ways we stay active with what's going on, the community is
Mm.
having a series of advisory boards. Just had a meeting with 30 advisory board members last night. And
Oh,
so
incredible.
the question is to them, put to them all the time, what do we need to do to stay relevant? The local
Advisory
community.
boards
So
that
they're
are
made up of
business
business
owners.
owners.
Oh,
Owners.
cool.
So we're asking. So I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, one of the big feedback points we got is students really need to be working on their soft skills.
Oh,
So
yeah. Like how to talk to
yes,
people.
how to talk to people, look them in the eye, don't wear your jammies to an interview,
Yes.
like things you and I would have taken for granted maybe
Right.
in our day, but it's you know.
Yeah.
So we put in a business professionalism sequence. We got some feedback that
Oh,
Excel, 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 Excel. Students can't get enough work in Excel,
right.
and so we added an Excel
Oh, they need it.
class on top of the one introductory one they already had.
Mhm.
So in our business core, we did that last night. We were talking about business communication skills. So
Oh
still
my
on the
goodness. Yeah.
both oral presentation, written presentation. How do you analyze data and tell the story with it?
Yeah.
Right.
Tell the
Well,
story.
we have the technical skills. We can get you on
Right.
what data means, but how can you make it
Explain it.
real for the client?
Right,
Yeah.
and make it it was so interesting. We had a technology just sidebar, we had a technology strategic council meeting a couple weeks ago, and we had the CIO of Florida Crystals on there, and she was explaining how, again, Florida Crystals is a huge company
Yeah.
here, still locally owned, family owned, and, generational, right? So the CEOs are probably, like, in their 70s or 80s, whatever it is. And she was explaining how she had to make the data real for technology for them. So they're like, well, why is cybersecurity so important to me? Like, I can't see it. So it's not there.
Right.
And she literally explained, she used an analogy like through an apartment building. Like she had to really kind of lay it out for them to understand, not only because there was a generational gap with technology there, but also just because so they could understand as business owners, like you are at risk here. So I
Yeah.
love that you're really making sure they know how to do that.
No, it is. It's the importance. What's the matter? What you know if you can't translate that knowledge to other people?
Right.
I mean, that's the heart of what education is, but that's
Mm.
what business is. If
It's what
you're
business.
working with clients, it's an education process.
Right. And I love that. And this actually transitions into my next question because it's, specifically focusing on the skills and mindsets of students. So what do you think are the most important skills for the next generation of leaders to
So,
develop?
so when we had a speaker series last night. So we had a
Mm.
business owner in talking with students, and a couple of students asked me afterwards
Yeah.
that very question. And obviously, again, we're selling great business
Right.
education, but I said, what you need to take advantage of here in this location is getting to know people,
Right.
networking, because in the business world, who you know matters a ton.
Yeah.
Doors are going to open. You're not going to, one person you may not open that door, but they may introduce you to
Mm.
somebody else who may introduce you to someone else.
Right.
And it turns out into something. And I'm constantly getting stories back from our students who do go that extra mile, put themselves out there.
You do.
You
You have
know,
to put yourself out
you,
there.
you do. If you sit at the
Right.
back of a class and never engage in the community, never go
Right.
to a chamber of commerce meeting, it's
Yeah.
the whole experience is a bit lost on you.
Exactly.
But the more you put yourself out there, eh, you know, the more successful you're going to be.
Right.
I I keep getting feedback from business owners that a lot of who they're really looking for, and this may sound odd, but they really like athletes.
Yeah.
You're like, well, so why? And, well, they're used to putting themselves out there.
Right.
They're in a very
It's
public
true.
persona all the time. They're highly competitive. They're used to doing something at a high level of excellence. So it's
Well,
that
and the
my
pressure is
and,
there,
and
and
the
you
pressure.
can handle the pressure. Really, is what it is.
But they find that these are people who will go hold that conversation with
Wow.
people, and they can,
They can hold their
help
own.
the clients. They do.
Exactly.
They can hold their own across the board. So really strongly encouraging people to get out into the community, taking advantage of great speaker series we have when we bring people in or sending our students out into the community.
Right.
There's no event that they shouldn't
That
be at.
shouldn't be at.
They couldn't benefit them.
Right. That's true. So you've published research in areas like macroeconomics, welfare economics, labor economics, and economic history, which
I'm all
amazing
over the
to me,
place.
honestly,
It's what
though.
do I want to think about today? That's kind of
Exactly. So how do you bring those insights into your work with students and connect, academic research to real life business challenges? Because sometimes, it can be foreign for some.
It absolutely is. So it may sound a little odd to be a dean of a business school, and be an economist. So
Right.
I'm a little more on the public policy side for
Yeah.
my own teaching and research than maybe the average business person.
Mm.
All of what I bring in are examples within public policy, how you use the economic toolkit,
Right.
marginal benefit, marginal cost, very simple economic ideas, and see how policies may have unintended consequences.
Mm.
Like, hey, your heart is in the right place on a particular policy. This is a great idea to try to help people. But if you follow through the logical consequences and
All
apply
right.
some basic reasoning to this, you actually end up harming them. And that's not what we want.
Right.
And so it doesn't really matter where your heart is if your
If it's
head is in
logically
the wrong
wrong,
direction.
right?
Nicely. And so I like opening eyes for students like that and saying, oh, I do. It's not enough just to care. You start with caring. That's
Right.
maybe a thing.
Right.
We want you to care in the right direction to actually make a meaningful difference in people's lives. So one of the things I would say most answer your question on the business side is we're very intentional about teaching our students that business is a calling.
Mm.
So it's not something we have them repent from on Sunday. They
Right.
go out and you do business, and then on Sunday say I'm sorry,
Right.
ask God to forgive you. And wait, no,
Yeah.
this is a calling. This is a way for you to improve people's lives. You add value to your customers. You add value to your suppliers, to the supply chain, to your employees. You employ someone, now they can, afford to have food, clothing, and housing for their family,
Right.
send their kids to college. Like, you're doing the Lord's work in business. And
Yeah.
that's something unique about Palm Beach Atlantic University. Most schools are not out there
Right.
doing that. They might say, oh, you become a great accountant and,
Yeah.
oh, maybe you could think about some ethical thing if you wanted to, but just go make some money.
Go make all the money.
Well, let's start with,
Well, and
we're
you
really
can do
here to make
both.
everyone
Right.
better off. You
I love
absolutely can
that.
do both.
You can absolutely do both. We're transition again, just focusing on policy, I think is our next section. So
Okay.
you've served as an economic advisor to local, state, and national leaders, including 2 speakers of the U.S. House of Representatives and Senator Rand Paul. So what has advising policymakers taught you about bridging the gap between economics and government decision making?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's still an education
Right.
racket, as it were, where people need to know, some basic ideas and how they're
Yeah.
going to impact people. But it's been interesting within the world of politics. Even when you convince people on the economic side of things,
Mm.
there's still a political calculation.
Yeah.
Now, this is not one for me. This is not a unique story to me, but the story was with uh, Richard Nixon and price controls in the 1970s, and he had a group of advisors there, and the economic advisors all agreed price control is a bad idea. It's
Right.
going to be harmful. And he said, all right, I definitely understand that argument. And
Right.
then he listened to political advisors who said, well, but the people want it. So he said, oh, we're going to do
Oh,
them. Like, even understanding, he even said,
he even
I
knew.
understand they're going to be bad, but this is what people want.
Right.
Well, it becomes frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at the economic policy as it is, maybe now in the United States,
Yeah.
there's some decisions, I do shake my head and I think, have I wasted my career? We have answers for this.
Right.
They're fairly straightforward. Why do we still make bad
Yeah.
decisions? I mean, why do we still run up the national debt to
No.
30-some trillion dollars? This is not a
Right.
wise long-term choice. It's not sustainable for future generations.
Right.
Why would you take on debt faster than your income's growing?
Right.
So, yeah, there are frustrations. So
Yeah.
it's nice to maybe know the right answer, but maybe it's also makes all economists kind of cynical a little
Right.
bit.
Well, because then too, you're right though. You're in the people business as well, so
Yeah.
you got to find that balance between like this is what the numbers are telling me, but like you said in the Nixon example, it's like, well, the people want it, so that's
Yeah.
going to be my choice,
I
right?
had a opportunity to advise some state lawmakers in Kentucky, and it was relative to their state debt. They had a state debt problem and
Yeah.
unfunded pension liabilities. And I was in a meeting with them and laying it out, and they said, "Well, we balanced the budget this year."
Yeah.
I said, "You
What?
balanced the budget? You mean if you don't count the $2 billion
Right.
you borrowed. He's like, what? I didn't know we borrowed $2 billion.
Oh,
Well, so you
no.
battling ignorance is some of it. You might think people read bills.
Right. You're like,
Yeah,
the A
they
for
don't
effort, right?
always.
At least he's trying. So that's so funny. So Palm Beach County is experiencing significant growth and economic development. How is PBA and the business school specifically preparing students to contribute meaningfully to the thriving business
I
community?
would like to say that we are part of that growing Palm
Yes,
Beach
you are.
business culture. In the last 4 years, the number of business students we have in the Rinker College of Business has grown 69%.
69%?
Yeah, in four
Oh my
years, we're up to
gosh.
927 just business students in the Rinker College of Business. Where
Wow.
5 years, 4 years ago, it was in the 530s. I mean, we're
How
so you're
fast?
going to see
That's
more
nuts.
more of us out in the getting
That's good.
internships and jobs within the community. So
Yeah.
as firms move here, they need great new employees, and
Right.
hopefully they're asking around who the great people are in terms of skills, but also in quality of people.
Right.
And they continue to hire our students as interns and for jobs.
And they stay. I love that they
It,
stay.
it's gotten to the point where when we're talking to high school seniors and
Yeah.
juniors when they come on campus and their parents are there,
Right.
I kind of started at the beginning feeling bad. I'm like
Yeah.
to talking to parents. I'm like, just understand when they come down here,
Like they're not
they're going to
coming back.
love it.
Yeah.
They're going to stay. They're going to get a job here. We're going to
Right.
have plenty of job opportunities. They're going to make good money.
Yeah.
And I thought it was, being negative, but so many parents have said, "Oh no, it's a great idea. We'd like to retire and come down here
Oh,
too."
there you
So
go. So bring the
it
whole
actually, I
family.
worried it was a negative that we got
Yeah,
so many to stay, but it's obviously great for the community
it
because you
is.
need that fresh talent coming in uh, with the hustle
Right.
and having that right attitude to go to work. So everything, our attitude in Rinker College of Business is everything that's good for business in West Palm Beach is good for us.
That's so good.
We want the community to grow. And the business it means more business internships, it means more
Right.
job opportunities. I mean, every accounting major we graduate, I mean,
They got a job.
you got to hire them as a junior because
Yeah, exactly.
they've got so many job offers. But
Right.
it's a clear indication that the job market here
It's
needs.
competitive and
It's,
it's very competitive,
it
but the
is.
the people are here, which I think is really just as somebody who hires,
Mhm.
it's like the good. I got a pool to choose from.
And we are our business school now for our undergraduate population. Over 60% of them are not from Florida,
Oh,
so
wow.
we really are serving as an engine to bring people down who are going to stay and work
And live here, make their
and
life
live
here.
here. So we want to think that
That's
we are
great.
doing our part. And with this new 6-story business
Yes.
hall that's opening here in the
There we
spring, it'll be
go.
a state of the art business facility.
It'll be amazing.
It'll be great for our students. It'll improve the level of education, but also our interaction with the community.
Right.
We'll be able to have a greater capacity to bring in speakers and more people from the community come hear these great business speakers and policymakers. It's going to be a showcase, and it's going to be good for business in West Palm Beach.
I love that. I love that. So we're going to transition to a little bit of some personal questions.
Mhm.
So you and your wife, Dr. Claudia Strow, have taken your children to dozens of countries across 6 continents. How has traveling the world shaped your perspective on leadership, education, and economic opportunity?
It teaches you patience to start with.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to stop what we were doing when we had kids. We have
Yeah.
4 kids, and so even when they were little, and I mean like carrying strollers and car seats, we were
Traveling when you
flying
were.
internationally. So I
Yeah.
can remember going to Australia. So it's a
Oh,
long flight. We had a 4-year old, a 2-year-old, and a 9-month-old. Like,
oh
of
my
course, I
gosh.
was
God
like
bless you.
lap child, and you're trying to hold
Wow.
them while you sleep. So we just, some patience. There are going
Yeah.
to be some things that go wrong. There was an occasion we were all in Europe for a month traveling, had it all ready to go. But a couple weeks before, my oldest son stepped on a shell at the beach and severed a tendon in his foot. He got surgery. In the
Oh my
meantime, he was stuck in
gosh.
a wheelchair for that length
Yeah.
of. Europe is not wheelchair accessible. Stones.
You're like clunk, clunk, clunk,
There's
clunk, 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 clunk.
one of the wheels fell off, and so I put all through Paris. I've
Oh
got
man.
three-wheeled wheelchair, and I'm leaning into the sidewalk so he doesn't tip out. Like
Those are some
it's
pretty memorable
so
moments.
patience is the big one, but we really thought it was important that our children understand there's a larger context here.
Right.
There are great people everywhere around the world. There are great cultures, just great things to learn.
Yeah.
And so we were pretty proud that we've exposed them to all
That's
kinds of different
incredible. Really.
opportunities, to which you would think they would say, "Thank you, mom and dad, for exposing us to so many great opportunities."
They're like, when
But
are we going back?
no, then when are they going to Antarctica?
Oh, see,
You
there
haven't
you
taken us
go.
to Antarctica yet, Dad. What are you doing? I don't have a good economic reason to go there. I mean, the economies are a lot of places.
Right.
Antarctica has
Let's
not got a
not
lot going
let's not
on,
do
but
that.
my daughter's convinced she's going to make it down there yet.
Oh,
She keeps pricing it out, and
that's awesome.
just to check it off her list.
Yeah, I mean, heck, she's been everywhere else, so why not?
Well, we've been blessed again within academia to have that flexibility. I led a
Yeah.
lot of study abroad trips with college students, and we got to teach. I taught in England for a semester, and so I enrolled my kids in English schools. We had the opportunity to teach on semester at sea. It's a cruise ship that
Oh,
circumnavigates the
really?
globe for the semester. They're a little spoiled on
That
the
is so
travel side
cool. I'm
growing up.
jealous.
But again, they're constant anything. You pull your kid out for a semester from high school or from
Right.
junior high. Like there are some social things. You're like, Dad, I have a
Yeah.
sport. Can't go to
Oh, yeah.
soccer season. Yeah, there's
R
costs. My
but I
goodness,
mean,
the
you're in
learning
Europe.
opportunity.
I mean, I'm
Exactly.
sure they're like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine, I missed that soccer game."
Yes, they are. They have had the time to realize that that
Yeah,
was the
this is so
better way.
lucky. Oh my goodness. Well, and then so speaking of family, how did you balance, just with you and your wife, just professional responsibilities and the personal growth as well as family life?
Yeah,
Because
we've gone probably at too high octane pace
yeah.
here for a long time. So when the kids were little, again, we had 4, but Claudia would teach Tuesday, Thursday. I taught Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we
Okay.
swapped off who was at home with the kids. So
Nice.
when they were young, Tuesday, Thursday, I was daddy, changing diapers, playing Candyland, reading
Yeah.
books, doing nap time, playtime, going to the library. So early in my career, I sacrificed maybe some career advancement for these are my kids.
Right.
We had 4, it seemed like a bazillion at the time, but, I wouldn't have traded that time for anything.
Right.
Yet even that, we both had full-time jobs, and I served a couple terms as an elected city commissioner
Oh, wow.
in Bowling Green, so I was trying to juggle 2 jobs and
Jeez.
her job and kids, and we didn't have any family in town or even in the state, had no free childcare. We didn't put our kids
Wow.
in like it was a juggle. So sometimes if my wife ever seems tired, it's my
Yeah.
fault. She's like, "Do
Well
we have to do quite this pace and
well
go to every country and go to every
yeah. But I love too, just because your family unit has stayed together this
Absolutely.
whole thing, and that's so rare and just awesome that you guys have done that.
Well, I appreciate that. That's the main goal. And so we were traveling this summer. It was in the
Yeah.
U.S., but I'm proud that they want to still come travel with us, and
Yeah.
even if they're in college or grad school,
They
it's like
wanna
where are we
be
going
here
as a
now as adults,
family?
yeah.
They all get along. We don't have grandkids yet, but I'm looking for the day when
Oh
everyone
my gosh!
comes and
And it's
it's like
just all
we're gonna host.
together.
Like you just so we still in my family. I've got 3 siblings. My parents host twice a year.
Oh,
We all live in different states. We all
right.
go back to Illinois for Christmas and 4th of July, stay for multiple days. There's 14 grandkids. We all come back, and so with
That's
all
perfect.
spouses, and it's
Everything.
making the important things
Yeah.
matter.
Matter. You're right.
We'll get the rest figured out,
Yeah.
but let's get the family situation
I
figured
love
out.
that.
So Sundays after church were mandatory family sports.
That's good. What do you play?
Everything
Oh,
from
everything.
football to kickball to basketball to
It's like a
soccer
field day.
to tennis to pickleball.
Everything.
Uh, but you owed dad.
Like sports day.
It's sports day. Everyone, mom, all
That's
4
cool.
kids were like, "We're gonna play.
Yeah.
You know you're gonna get sweaty. Suck it up. You can have the later time in the afternoon to
Yeah.
yourself, but
But after church,
this is
this
what
is
we
what we're
do.
doing.
After church, we're gonna play sports."
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. Well, we'll end really quick here just on some rapid fire questions.
Yes.
So, what are you watching right now? Any binge worthy shows?
We're just finishing Cardinal. I'm on season 4 of Cardinal. It's a Canadian crime TV show, so we've enjoyed that. The problem is we do binge like
Yeah,
anybody
it's like,
else. Like we
yeah.
just not gonna watch anything else
Yeah.
until this.
Until it's over.
Although we are British Baking Show just did their first
Oh,
episode last week, so I gotta wait once a week.
t-
But
I hate
we're
that they're going back to that. I'm just saying. I appreciate you just to
no,
get the
that's
show
right.
out of the way. Like,
That's
come
right.
on.
That's right. So when we found Cardinal with 4 seasons, like,
Oh
oh, we
yeah,
can
you're
go
like,
straight
oh,
through war.
locked in.
I do put a plug out for Slow Horses.
Yeah,
I really
okay.
like Slow Horses. I think that's an Apple
Apple, perfect. Okay,
British spy drama.
nice. A lot of international shows. I like it.
Oh, we do. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, obviously, you travel, so
Yes, because you learn to appreciate there's awesome things everywhere and there's
right.
awesome people everywhere.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. So, what's on your nightstand? Are you reading anything right now?
No, I fall asleep.
Right? You
I
get through
get
a
home.
page and you're
I'm
like,
working so hard.
done.
I get home. I did a sleep study once, and they're like, "Well, why would you need a sleep study? People would envy you. Like, your head hits the pillow, and it doesn't take you 30 seconds, and you're in a REM."
Oh, me too. Yeah.
So my struggle is actually staying awake. So if I no book needed on my
No book
nightstand.
needed. There you
I'll
go.
say that. I was reading. I still haven't made it through, but I'd never read Robinson Crusoe, so I
Oh,
picked it up
okay.
this summer. I would say I'm about
What a
halfway
commitment.
through.
That's a big book.
Well, I'm halfway through. That's my problem. I'm halfway through a lot of books. I
That's
made
like
it three
saying,
quarters of the way through Anna Karenina, and
oh, yeah,
it's
it's
good in
intense.
parts, and then it kind of drags, and
And then you hit that good part again. Well, that's like
I
saying you're going to read Count of Monte Cristo, and you're
yeah.
just like, phew, what a book.
I will say when it comes to books, I have a lot of grand ideas of books I will finish,
Yeah.
and I start a lot of books.
Okay. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. So, what's your go-to coffee order in the morning, or if not
Well,
coffee,
I
tea?
make it at home.
Yeah.
Whatever coffee we happen to pick up, whatever the cheapest source of coffee is.
Yeah.
But when I do have the luxury of ordering it out, I'm gonna go with an iced mocha
Iced mocha.
with whipped cream.
It's so good.
But I don't give them my real name because everyone's
Why?
named Brian my age, and so you never know whose order it is. I had to
Well,
make
what's
up a
your
coffee name.
name?
It's Casper with a K. He's the third wise man in the nativity. He's the
I
one that
like
brings the
it.
gold. I get upset when they misspell my fake name.
Yeah.
Like if they put it with a C, I'm like, that's a friendly ghost.
Yeah.
I'm a guy. Brings
I'm
the
a
gold.
guy that has gold.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's actually
It
fantastic.
took me forever to pull it off because they ask your name,
And you're
and
just like, Brian.
I can't lie. Like
Yeah.
I just like
You're like,
oh, I want to try this. I want to try that. I couldn't. It's like three fails. I'm like, on try 4. I finally got to the
You
point where I'll
finally
say
got
Casper,
it.
but now that I'm a liar, I can lie like a
yeah,
champ.
you're like, listen,
Like
I
a
got
champ.
this under my belt. All right. Well, really quick, just one final question. Any plugs for PBA? Anything you want to share just about anything? The floor is yours.
Look forward to the grand opening of the new Rinker College of Business Hall.
Spring, right?
Spring. So it should be
Perfect.
March or April, grand
Wow.
opening, 120,000 square feet of business awesomeness, stock trading room, data analytics labs, you name it.
Wow.
Have we got the resources to ramp up our business education?
Well, Dr. Strow, thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much for your time.